Very welcome to UBC Lunchtime News. I am Brian Tumwine Biarohanga. President Yoweri Museveni has reiterated calls to intensify efforts in the fight against poverty in Uganda. Museveni, who detests poverty in the strongest terms, says the country is on the course to have all negative, Museveni, who detests poverty in the strongest terms, says the country is on course to have all the natives to get into the money economy. He said during the virtual celebrations to mark the National Heroes Day at State House in Nakasero, where Vice President Jessica Alupo affirmed commitment towards Uganda's economic agenda. Let's take a look.
For instance, if you take like health, even by the time we came in 1986, when we launched what we were calling UNEPI. I remember I launched UNEPI, Universal National Expanded Program for Immunization. I launched it with Dr. Rugunda in Entebbe. By that time, 96,000 children were dying every year from the 6 killer diseases: measles, the other one called, the 6 of them. And when we immunized, those have polio. If you look for anybody with polio now, you will not see him. If you see anybody with polio, you know that he was born during the time of UPC. That's a UPC disease, polio. And this vaccine, these vaccines were there. But so that's why these were the reasons. Therefore, when you are auditing the aims of the resistance and the achievements, please go by item. Democracy, economy, security, infrastructure, education, health. Of course, there are other things which I don't have to go into, like reputation of Uganda abroad and so on and so forth. As somebody who has been following, I think we have done well. That's why the economy has expanded. The problem of, if you say, for instance, economy, the problem is no longer the supply of goods, because there was Ebola leading to shortages. Ebola, even if you had money, you had nothing to buy. Now the problem is different. There are so many things to sell. The problem is that some people don't have enough money. And that's what we have been telling you to sort out through wealth creation. So this is number one. Therefore, I want to thank the veterans who joined us, civilian veterans, the armed veterans, to achieve this, to defeat an army of the government which had all the weapons. I thank them so much, and even those who are not here, I want their families to be saluted. Thank you so much.
And as you have said, no snoring this time, no sleep, Your Excellency. We shall commit ourselves to your guidance, and we shall serve with diligence, and all the people of Uganda I would like to assure all the people of Uganda that we shall deliver as guided by His Excellency the President. And there is a very bright future for all of us as the people of Uganda. Secondly, Your Excellency, allow me to thank you for consistently maintaining and mainstreaming the programs of our national heroes in government, in planning, in budgeting. And I thank the implementing MDS for executing their roles and responsibilities and keeping in contact with our national heroes, specifically the Veterans Association of Luero and many others in other parts of the country.
Great insights there. That's how the National Celebrations of Heroes Day this year have been celebrated. Now let's cross over to Ebola. The World Health Organization Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, is in Uganda to assess how the country is handling her Ebola response following the spillover from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus said WHO is supporting Uganda and DRC to have a joint response plan, including Uganda sending medical teams to DRC. Let's take a look.
Uganda and DRC are working on a memorandum of understanding to have medical teams from Uganda participate in the management of Ebola outbreak in DRC. This was disclosed by the delegation from the WHO that visited Uganda to assess the Ebola preparedness and response efforts.
So now the two countries, Uganda and DRC, are working on a plan that will be a joint plan for joint action in DRC. So far, we are working for that plan to be implemented very fast. As Didi mentioned, both head of state have a talk, and also at technical level, team also are speaking together in order to fast-track all the process, administrative process, to have also a memorandum of understanding between the two countries, and then we can implement all the action for the health and to save life, not only in DRC, but also to prevent people in DRC to come seeking care in Uganda.
Uganda is already training the teams that will travel to DRC to participate in the Ebola response.
So Uganda is currently in preparation. As soon as the memorandum of understandings between the two governments are signed, as soon as the simulations which have already been started are completed and we are all clear to go, that will be announced by the relevant authorities. But the plan is ongoing.
The WHO team called on the international community to reconsider travel restrictions on Uganda.
International community not to do this, and those who have done that to reconsider. And because it affects the economy and it affects the livelihood of the country. And when the country is transparent and doing its job, and it has also experience in stopping Ebola, I think the return cannot be travel restrictions. So that's one way I think WHO can, give its voice for countries who imposed to reconsider, and to also thank, since majority are not doing that, not following suit, we thank those who have not imposed restrictions, because that has to be. And many studies have shown that travel restrictions don't actually help. May delay it for a few days, weeks, but at the end of the day, that's not what brings a solution. What brings solution is to address it at the epicenter of the outbreak.
The WHO has pledged to support a coordinated response to Uganda and DRC to see to it that Ebola outbreak is contained. Adia Nakote, UBC.
Thank you so much, Adia Nakuti. Now let's cross over to Chambogo. A group of Chambogo students are requesting the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni, who is the Minister of Education and Sports, and the President help them reign on their university after it issued them university qualification that doesn't match with what was on the admission in 2017. The students had been admitted on physical education course, a science course, but the transcripts they were given after completing their course read sports management. They allege and they petitioned the university since then, but since it remained mute. They even petitioned the National Council for Higher Education, but the same matter was still unresolved. Now the total students who had been admitted to this controversial course were 28 in number. They say everywhere they have gone to offer them jobs, they have been rejected due to what is not tallying with their documents. Let's take a look.
By names of Chimanje Julius, a student of Chambogo University, 2017. But I'm so challenged, and I don't know where to start from. We are going through contacts and hurdles, whereby we don't know what is next. We were given an opportunity to study for physical education and sports management. Let alone, on the graduation day, we saw another program coming in. So we were worried. And we continued to try out to look for jobs.
This is academic terrorism. The university stole our futures. The university stole our futures. This is an institution that we trusted. We approached them with our grievances and we asked for redress, and they instead slammed the door in our faces.
I have hustled for 7 years, looking for what to eat, looking for what to use, using the documents that I have. Getting in a no, whenever I take my document, it is not valid. It is not accredited. It is not working. I have lost so far 4 opportunities to go on a payroll. But whenever I take my documents, they say that the documents, they are not for teachers. I don't have registration number. I don't know what to do. We've tried to write to the administration, Chambogo University, but there is no response. They are keeping quiet. I think for them, they are enjoying, as we are suffering continuously. I feel the pain, and I'm calling upon the Minister of Education and His Excellency, the President of Uganda, because he's the father and the grandfather to us, to come and intervene in our matter.
The regulator, National Council for Higher Education, has also not taken any action against the university. It has not informed us about any steps that it has taken or intends to take against the university. And this is a deliberate attempt by the university to obstruct a lawful regulatory investigation by the National Council. We requested on June 2nd, we visited again the National Council for Higher Education and requested to see the executive director. But she declined to see us and instead told some officers to give us some answers, who refused to commit to a timeline for the resolution of this matter.
Sad revelations there for you, but the First Lady and the President will do something. I guess they are watching. Now let's talk KMP evictions. National Environmental Management Authority has temporarily halted the restoration within the areas of Kampala. The move is intended to give all illegal wetland occupants within Kampala capital city and the surrounding areas to voluntarily vacate. This comes amid growing public concern over these indiscriminate evictions in the ongoing wetland restoration operations. Our reporter has more.
The National Environmental Management Authority has been conducting a massive
Very
restoration
sad.
exercise of degraded wetlands within the Kampala metropolitan areas. The exercise attracted criticism from several sections of the public over what some described as indiscriminate evictions during the ongoing wetland restoration operations. However, after consultations between NEMA, the Ministry of Water and Environment, the Wetlands Management Department and Kampala Capital City Authority leadership, a consensus has been reached to temporarily halt the restoration exercise in Kampala and the surrounding areas for 30 days to allow illegal occupants to vacate voluntarily.
So this grace period has been granted starting today.
The 30 days grace period to all persons occupying, developing or carrying out activities within gazetted wetland areas in Kampala and other affected parts of the country, according to NEMA, takes effect from June 8, 2026 as a measure to intensify voluntary eviction. During the 30-day grace period, joint enforcement teams will, among others, continue mapping and documenting additional cases of wetland encroachment across the city and other parts of the country. Restoration orders will also be issued to violators who have not yet been served. Marking of illegal structures and infrastructures located within wetlands and conducting routine operations to prevent fresh encroachment and reoccupation of the already restored areas.
It's not that you will be allowed to encroach any new area. It's not that we shall stop issuing restoration orders. No. We are going to continue issuing restoration orders across the country, including in Kampala. We shall continue profiling and mapping areas encroached, including in Kampala. The 30-day grace period is to allow people to voluntarily vacate so that they mitigate any potential loss that is associated with the forceful restoration.
NEMA maintains that the restoration exercise is necessary to protect fragile ecosystems that have suffered years of degradation due to illegal settlements, industrial developments, commercial activities, and infrastructural projects.
Government has been calling upon everybody who has encroached on wetland or even forest reserves to vacate voluntarily, because if you don't vacate voluntarily, enforcement will come to you. And enforcement normally comes with inconvenience, and nobody wants to be inconvenienced.
Illegal occupants of wetland areas around Ubc wetland system, Namuwongo, Luzira, Bugolobi, Kansanga, Gaba, Katogo, Munyonyo and other degraded wetland ecosystems have been advised to avoid falling victims of forceful removal. NEMA has also warned all those involved in rampant dumping of garbage, construction of permanent structures, blockage of natural drainage channels and destruction of indigenous wetland vegetation within the greater Kampala. NEMA maintains that those who will not respect the grace period enforcement actions will proceed in accordance with the National Environment Act Cap 181 and other applicable laws without further notice. The 30 days grace period is expected to end in early July. Susan Nawonga reporting for Ubc TV.
Thank you, Susan, for that. That story for Susan takes us to a very short break, and we shall do return with more news.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono tu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
Makere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills-tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, It is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. Registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. It is UBC Lunchtime News with me, Brian Tumwine Biaruhanga. The 14th Eastern Region Uganda Manufacturers Association Trade Fair has opened in Mbale City, with leaders calling on communities to embrace value addition and industrialization to boost household incomes. The call was made by the Omukuka of Bamasaba, Jude Mike Mudoma, who officially opened the trade fair at Mbale Secondary School grounds. Let's take a look.
The Umukuka of Bamasaba, His Royal Highness Jude Mike Mudoma, has encouraged local farmers, entrepreneurs and skilled workers to position themselves as key suppliers of raw materials and labor to the growing industrial sector.
We are witnessing the magnificent growth of Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park, which hosts dozens of operational factories. These industries provide vital jobs for our youth and inject billions of shillings into our local economy.
He urged communities in eastern Uganda to leverage their cultural heritage and agricultural resources to promote industrialization.
Our cultural ethos emphasizes resilience, community, and forward movement. Today we must pivot those very cultural values into industrial action. As a kingdom, a region, we cannot merely be the producers of raw materials. We must be dominant players in the value addition chain.
The trade fair has attracted exhibitors, manufacturing companies, innovators, government agencies and education institutions with the products, technologies and skills that supporting Uganda's industrialization drive. Students at the Nabumali High School exhibition stall had innovations under the new curriculum.
These are snacks, but they're not only snacks, but they're also enriched in so many food values. We have carbohydrates, we have proteins, we have some fats in them, we have vitamins. If I'm in a boarding school, I can increase on my pocket money.
I've come up with a project. In front of you here is a electronic microscope. As you can see its features.
Many of us use firewood and other biomass fuels to carry out any daily activities such as cooking. We came up with a project that will help us conserve the environment.
Meanwhile, innovators from Engineering Development and Innovation Center, EDIC, had technologies that support the dairy sector.
Doing business in milk production, how do you add value in that milk instead of selling it at 1,000 shillings per liter? But if you add value in that milk, using our machines, our designed equipment that are made in Uganda, you can get from 1 liter 8,000.
Problem which companies have been facing, they were taking long to receive their different spare parts from abroad and they were costly. That means they used to spend a lot of money and they take a long time to receive these components.
Yiga Muhammad, UBC in Mbale City.
Thank you very much, Iga, there for us. Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, together with the Office of the President, have distributed coffee processing machines to farmers in Kasese to elevate coffee production and processing and adding value to it. Now, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Major General Retired David Kasura, cited how this will highlight Uganda's agro-industrialization agenda and strengthen the market access. Rita Chomokama has the details.
Kasese is Uganda's second largest coffee producing district, with approximately 85% of the district's farmers grow coffee, producing roughly 250 tons of coffee annually. With 80% of production being Arabica and 20% Robusta, Kasese still encounters hurdles that impact both yield and bean quality.
You are all aware that Kasese is prone to dry spells in some season, but also sometimes the floods and even the mudslides. All these affect our production.
Through their coffee value addition and farmer empowerment project, Ministry of Agriculture and other stakeholders distributed coffee processing machines to Kasese coffee farmers. This initiative links Uganda's agro-industrialization agenda to empower farmers, strengthen market access, and boost Uganda's global coffee profile.
We want to enhance coffee quality through taplings, through provision of tapling to farmers for proper drying of coffee. Number 4, to promote sustainable practices that are environmentally and socially acceptable in coffee production.
Endeavor and ensure that you maintain the quality of the coffee. Guard the Uganda coffee on the global market has a very good reputation.
With such interventions, the Office of the President is optimistic of improvement in both coffee production and income.
And we want to see that your efforts in growing, planting, growing, processing coffee and marketing it is improved, and you get better money out of it than what you are getting today.
To want to help them, to support them with training, where possible with some machinery. Like there's one where we went and they are doing it, but they didn't have a coffee machine where they can actually make coffee from the farm to the cup.
We are supporting the agricultural sector to ensure that we achieve the target of value addition for coffee. Apart from the electricity needs that we have assessed, and we will be supporting a number of the cooperatives with transformers, upgrading their power supply. Indeed, the issue of the cost of fuel then becomes pertinent.
The equipment were distributed to Bukonzo Organic Farmers, a union of 13 smallholder farmers, Renzori Organic Coffee Farmers, and a few farmers.
They have given us machines whose capacity is a bit high, and our farmers will be able to produce quality coffee. They are going to reduce post-harvest handling issues so that we are able to deliver our coffee on time.
Lydia Chomkama and Juma Samba, UBC News.
Uganda, it's time to move for a cause. Join the Olympic Day Tokyo Run 2026 on 20th of June in Bushenyi under the theme Move, Learn and Discover for Nutrition Care. Choose your challenge, 5 km, 10 km or 21 km, and take part in a nationwide movement promoting nutrition, wellness and hope. Every step supports Ugandan athletes on their road to Dakar 2026. The chief runner is His Excellency President General Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni. Get your official run kit today for only 35,000 Uganda shillings. Powered by Toke and the Presidential Initiative on Banana Industrial Development in partnership with Uganda Olympic Committee. Run for nutrition. Run for Uganda. Call or WhatsApp 0782-009-302 or 0774-450-125.
Today we are in Makerere College School, and we've got our winner, and that is none other than Michelle. I am sure you've already gotten the school fees, and the excitement is already there. Thank you so much.
Michelle has won school fees for a year. Never Zaba Momo. 3 times paid, cleared.
You can also stand a chance to win. You simply have to dial *165 *80# or use the Momo app. Schools that accept students to pay school fees using Momo also stand a chance to win a van. Pay your school fees. You never know. You could be the lucky winner.
Welcome back. Now let's talk sports. Victor Wembanyama scored 32 points as the San Antonio Spurs beat the New York Knicks 115-111 at the Madison Square Garden to cut the NBA final deficit to 2-1. Now, Wembanyama added 8 rebounds and 6 assists, claiming his first finals win and helping San Antonio avoid a 3-0 haul. Stephen Castle scored 22 points and hit a crucial 3-pointer late in the fourth quarter before sealing the game with 2 3 throws in the final seconds. The result ended New York's 13-game postseason win and handed the Knicks their first deficit in 46 days. Jalen Brunson led the Knicks with 32 points, while OG Ambron added 28. But the New York failed to close out a game that would move them with one win of the first NBA title since 1973. Game 4 will be played on Wednesday night with the Knicks still leading the best of 7 series 2-1. Let's take a look.
And the best player on the floor is wide open, and he's been naked in front of the rim multiple times.
Such an aggressive start. Of course, he had the one game where he only took 4 shots in the entire first half. He's taken. Wemby thought about a floater. Champagny back to him. He steps back. He tries a 3. Knocks that one down. First 3-pointer for Wemby.
That's Wembanyama there keeping the Spurs alive, and Sendono must have enjoyed that because he enjoys NBA. Now that story brings us to the very end of UBC Lunchtime News. I am Brian Tumwine Biorohanga. Goodbye and God bless Uganda.